All right, we are live. Welcome to Faratech Live. This is a chance where I get to interview superstars in the marketing world. Today, we are talking about business-to-business content promotion. We're going to talk about the problem and why we need content promotion. We're going to talk about what we do about it. We're going to talk about real-life examples and some action items. But what I'm most excited about today is I get to talk all this stuff through with an old personal friend. I have Joe Apfelbaum from Ajax Union on the line. Joe is a rock star in every sense of the word. He's got an awesome company called Ajax Union. They are a Inc. 500 company. When they first started out, they were serving over 1,100 companies. They've done some shifts since then. They are killing it. They work with business-to-business companies to help them get leads and nurture leads and do all that awesome stuff. I believe that they specialize in companies that have sales teams already. I met Joe through a program called EO. If you haven't heard of the EO, I definitely recommend that you look it up. It's a really awesome networking. It's awesome business network. And so I met Joe just as I was getting into that, and he was telling me some of the strengths and benefits, but he really took a lot of time with me to kind of have me up to his place up in Brooklyn. We talked marketing, we talked life, we did a whole bunch of stuff. And, I've been able to keep in touch with him since then. But what's so cool was to watch Joe grow. In social media, I've seen him, I think he's lost almost 100 pounds. He has these smoothie talks where he basically helps people maximize their life, which we're going to talk about today. He's been on TV on these business marketing panels, and I'm like, how is he doing all this stuff? Every single time I see him, he's in a crowded room with some selfies. He's everywhere, and he's doing the stuff. Just basically, he's leading the pack on how to really just get out there and to meet businesses, to bring the social part of social media to the marketing world. And I'm really pleased to have him. So, Joe, how are you?
I am doing amazing. I'm feeling motivated this morning. I took my bike to the office. Even though it was drizzling, I decided to just take a bike ride in the rain, and it just felt amazing. I don't know if you've ever done that, if you've ever ridden your bike in the drizzle through the park, and it just felt so alive and so ready to just take on my day. And a lot of people ask me, Joe, how do you do it? How do you have that amazing energy every day when you get up in the morning and you're on video and you're just doing your thing? And I say life is just a bunch of habits. Your character is a bunch of habits. So all the habits, whether it's in business, whether it's in your marketing, which we're going to get into, and we're going to talk a lot about marketing, or whether it's in your personal life, it's all just a bunch of habits that you do, and the habits that you have form the character that you are. So if you set yourself up for success with the right habits, which is being grateful and being proactive and being healthy and taking care of yourself first and making your family before your business, and then making sure that you're proactive in your business and you manage your time appropriately and you manage your priorities appropriately, then you can live the life of your dreams.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Before I forget, tell us a little bit. You wrote a book a while back, and just tell us a little bit about that as well.
I wrote a book. I started writing a book about 2 years ago called Average Joe to CEO, 7 Stages to 7 Figures, and I'm actually coming out with it in November. So if you want to find out more information about that, go to joeapfelbaum.com. And essentially, there are 7 stages that I found to be able to go from Average Joe to CEO, to be able to have a 7-figure type of life. And it's to challenge the beliefs that you have in your life, then to overcome the failures, to have the right type of work ethic, then to be able to focus. A lot of entrepreneurs are not focused. Overcome the fears, build the relationships, and ultimately have an incredible purpose. So you take those 7 stages and you learn through my experience how I was able to grow from Average Joe to CEO going through those stages. It's a very, very powerful journey that I share with the world in that book.
That's really cool. Joe and I were kind of pre-gaming before this whole, before this whole live, Facebook Live, and he was saying, well, how do you want to grow your business? And the first thing I did was I gave him some financial number I was going for, and nobody's ever really done this before. They're like, well, why do you want to do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody wants to grow their business to this financial number. And he's like, no, I've been to that financial number and I don't know whether that's what you want. And I was like, I'm really preparing for this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's really important. I need to write that down because I need to unpack that later. But I think Joe's kind of that guy who asks the questions that it's just like, it helps you step out of the way you're looking at life and kind of say, you know what, why do I want that? Like I could bring this agency to $5 or $10 million, but I might not ever see my wife. I might not ever see my kids, all that stuff. And it's fun to hear a guy who's kind of like a marketing wizard take a step back and say, you know what, let's put that aside and let's talk a little bit about your life. And so
you said, I might not see my wife, I might not see my kids. And I was going to add to that, I might not see profit. A lot of people get to 5 million, to 10 million, to 50 million, to 100 million. And they never see profit, whatever profit means. EBITDA, cash, smiles, happiness, freedom, self-expression. They don't see profit. It's very, very different between doing things and then doing things well. In my podcast that I'm going to launch in the next couple of weeks called The Breakthrough Maze, I take people through breakthroughs. I help them be able to discover breakthroughs in their life. And a lot of times it's just by asking them questions. One of my core values is curiosity. So when I ask you a question and I say, hey, you want to double your revenue, why do you want to do that? And then you start thinking to yourself, why do I want to do that? Do I want to double my revenue or do I want to double my profit? Do I want to double the amount of time that I'm working in my business, or do I want to cut that in half and instead work on my business so my business could be smarter, more efficient, and we can provide a better service and ultimately make a better impact? You see, I'm all about maximizing your life, maximizing your business, and ultimately it's about maximizing your profits.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And I think I think the next steps for us and how Joe and I started talking again is I was mentioning that business for us has been going very well. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. I had a kid, I've been married, all that stuff. And I was just kind of telling Joe, I got some work-life balance stuff. He says, how's the business? I'm like, business is fine, but you know, the business takes its toll in other parts of your life. And he's like, dude, maybe you should come on my podcast. Tell me about it. Maybe we'll walk through this. And so I'm hoping to do that. I'm excited to do that. I think it's kind of cool when you can wrestle these things with a guy who understands where you're at, because, you know, we have a very similar business. So I'm really excited to be part of that. And that's really cool. So if you are watching this live podcast, you're probably wondering about content promotion. That's the subject line we got you here for, so let's dive right in on that. Let me do my little opening here. I think if you are in business and you have you started a blog, or you have a blog attached to your website, or you started your business, you're basically in a spot where you're like, I created this really great piece of content. I'm going to publish it on my website. People are going to find it. It's going to bring in tremendous amounts of business. You put in your blood, sweat, and tears to make it really awesome. And then you look at your analytics and basically nobody finds it, or it doesn't really transform your business, or people don't come to your website the way you thought. Like the concept of if you build it, they will come, those days of marketing are over. And let me just kind of break into some statistics so this can get kind of fun. Every single minute, there's Facebook shares, 2.4 million Facebook shares every minute. Tweets, 277,000. Instagram posts, 216,000. Emails, 204 million. YouTube uploads, 72 hours worth. Apple app downloads, 48,000. 200 million blogs. Funny stuff is Tinder, 416,000 swipes, whether right or left, I don't know. But it basically, according to the social media revolution, the average goldfish has an 8-second attention span, and the human being has 7 seconds. 1 second less than a goldfish. So we're in it to win it. We're really trying to create great content, and we are in a sea of noise. So, Joe, what are we going to do about that?
What we need to do is we need to have a plan. A lot of people are just doing social media. They're just doing SEO. They're just doing content marketing. If you're just doing content marketing, that's fine. You might get lucky. But I always tell people luck might make you a living, but it definitely will not make you a fortune. If you're fortunate enough to be listening to this video, to this podcast right now, and you're asking yourself, well, why am I marketing? What am I doing? What is my plan? What am I trying to achieve? And you don't have that documented. I wrote a book that I just finished writing that I'm going to be publishing in the next couple of weeks called Before the Idea, How to Speak to a Marketing Strategist. And before you start talking to somebody like me or like Chris, you want to make sure that you understand what you want to achieve with your business. Everything about your business, your unique selling proposition, your core focus, your target market, really getting to know why you're doing it, what your strengths are, and then understanding the goals, how many customers you want, what type of customers you want, your lifetime value, your cost per acquisition, like really getting to those numbers and understanding that not every customer was created equal. And if you can get the right customers and you have a plan as to how you want to get those customers, you're much more likely to succeed than just doing content and hoping for the best. So step number one is if you want to be successful with content marketing, with SEO, with social media, with any form of marketing, have a cohesive plan. Understand where you want to get to. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you want 5 new customers in the next 90 days. You're a B2B company. Customers spend on average, let's say $100,000 a year with you. And you want 5 new customers. You want to drive in the next 90 days an additional $500,000 in new sales. Now you have a sales team and you have leads that are currently coming to your website. And most of the leads that are coming to your website are not qualified to do business with you. They somehow found you. And the reason they're coming to you is because you did some SEO, because you're advertising on AdWords, or you did some content marketing. Now, the content marketing that you're doing, what is your goal with that content marketing? Who are you targeting? Are you targeting people that are on the top of the funnel? And now you might just say, whoa, what funnel are you talking about, Joe? I like having fun with the funnel. And talking about the funnel and talking about where on the journey is that customer that you're engaging. Where is that customer sitting? And depending on where they're sitting and who that customer is, see, most people go out there and they write content without thinking about a buyer persona and without thinking about where in the funnel that content is supposed to be for. So if you're creating content, just general content about your business, and you're not thinking about a specific person, if you're not interesting, people are not going to be interested. If you're not interesting to a particular person, no one's going to be interested in your content, and hence, no one's going to read it. And if no one reads it, no one's going to take action. If no one engages with your content, no one's going to take action. So if you were talking to, let's say, the CEO of a company, or you're talking to a marketing director, or you're talking to a CFO, you're going to have a different conversation. You're going to sing a different song. With the CEO, you might want to grow the business. For the marketing person, you might want to make it easier for them to get the right type of leads. And for the finance person, you might want to save them money and have more transparency on return on investment. Different messages for different folks. And if you want to be successful with your content, you have to know who you're targeting and then where on the journey are they? Are you targeting people that don't know what you're offering and don't know who you are, so they don't know you? They certainly don't like you, and they certainly don't trust you. So those are people that you need to educate. Those are people that you need to send them one type of message. And then the people that already know you and like you, but don't trust you yet, need to be sent testimonials and content around that. And the people that know you, like you, and trust you and just need to buy already, you need to send them buy now messages based on who they are. So there are different people in the different areas of the funnel and the different places of the journey. And if you could understand that and have a plan and say, okay, plan number 1, get somebody to download my ebook. Not just somebody, but the right people, CEOs. So if you want 100 CEOs to download your ebook and you're creating content and SEO around getting 100 CEOs to download your ebook, now you have a plan. This is what you want to accomplish because you know that if 100 CEOs download your ebook, 15 of them are going to want to have a conversation with you. And out of those 15, 5 of them hopefully will buy from you over the next 90 days. And you're constantly in touch with them. So having a cohesive plan, understanding what your goal is, knowing who you're targeting, and then creating content that allows you to be able to give them a lead-in product, give them some bait. I was reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. And Dale Carnegie he said, I love strawberries and sour cream. And I thought to myself, you know what? I love strawberries and sour cream too. And he said, when I go fishing, I don't try to attract fish using the strawberries and sour cream that I love. Instead, I give them worms. Now, worms are repulsive to me. As a matter of fact, they're not even kosher, unless they're those gummy worms that give you a stomachache if you eat too many. But those gummy worms are not going to work for fish. So the actual worms that work for fish is what they want. So if you want to be successful with your content marketing, think about what they want. Have a plan around giving them what they want. In the internet world, we call this value. And the more value you can give, the more likely you are to succeed with the right target audience, and then for your content marketing strategy to actually work. See, at Ajax Union, because we specialize in B2B and we specialize in creating the funnel and in figuring out your buyer personas, and we specialize in account-based marketing, which is targeting very specific accounts for you, because not all your accounts are created equal, and helping you get into the right types of customers. As a result of that, we're able to create 7-figure deals for clients using our technology, our strategy, and our consulting, because we have a plan. We know who we're targeting. We know what we want them to do to get from stage A to B to C within the funnel, and for each different buyer persona. So if you know all that and you have a cohesive strategy, then you're taking out the guesswork for marketing, and then it's just about making the machine work more efficient and maximizing your profits.
Yeah. I mean, we do something very similar. I'll kind of have 2 comments on that. The first thing we do is we kind of outline, we call that buyer's journey. The way we describe buyer's journey is more of a business to consumer model, but it still works. The same analogy is working for business to business. I mean, essentially when you need a new car, you don't just drive on the first lot, that's out there and basically say, oh my gosh, I need a new car. Like, usually what happens is in your research, you're either deciding you want a new car because you either want something cool or your car is broken down. Then you start, that's in the awareness stage. Then the consideration stage, you're trying to figure out what kind of car you want, what make, not so much make and model so much, but do I want an SUV? Do I want a sedan? Do I want a sports car? And then your brain starts to get down into the decision level stage where you're starting to pick make, model, price, location, you name it. And your brain's doing this in the background. And we know that that's happening in the background in our brain. But somehow, once we get behind a keyboard, we start writing a blog, or we have a strategy that says, I got someone on the hook, and I don't realize that you got to talk to certain people in certain stages of the, like you said, certain stages of the funnel, certain stages of the buyer's journey. So they either come in like too strong, too fast early, or at the end, they're basically not talking about their unique selling proposition. They're not talking about themselves. And it's basically the clients, the potential client saying, well, why should I pick you? What makes you different? And somehow we think, oh, but if I get them on the phone, I can explain all that stuff. 57% of your audience is probably already ready to buy before they even talk to your sales team. So if your marketing isn't getting them warm or even hot before the sales teams, basically talk to them, you're doing your sales team a major disservice. If you're doing your marketing right, your sales team should be basically sinking the final nail. And that's a pretty big deal. So that's story number 1 I have. And then one of the exercises we do, literally our office, not this office, but our office has that idea paint where we can write on every wall that we have. And on the left-hand side, we say, where does the lead start? And then in the, not so much the middle, but 3/4 of the way, we say, where's the sale? And then on the other side of the sale is where's the referral? And so I say, if you have 100 leads that enter into the funnel, are you writing 100 proposals? And usually my clients are like, no. And I'm like, well, where are they falling off? Are they falling off before the initial call? Are they falling off after the initial call? Are they falling off right before they get a proposal? Where are they falling off? But usually clients are like, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. I was like, what happens if I can't get you any more leads but I can help you close the ones that are already on your doorstep. Would that be important to you?
And that's so important. And a lot of people don't realize that you already have a significant amount of people that are coming to your website that are ready to buy. They say only 3% of people that come to your website ever contact you. But 30% of people that come to your website would like to buy from you. People don't like being sold, but they love to buy. One of Jeffrey Gitomer's quotes. And if you take a moment to think to yourself for a moment about the people that are on your website right now. If you're not using technology to figure out who's on your website, what they're doing, and what those people are saying, if you're not tracking that, you're missing out. Specifically for a B2B company, we launched a product called B2BX. If you want more information about that, you can go to b2bx.ajaxunion.com/webinar to sign up for our webinar we're doing next week. The insane thing is that you can know exactly who's on your website, the names of those companies, the contacts within the company with their email address. You can know what they're doing with their mouse as if you're standing behind the prospect and watching them browse your website, and you can check out what forms they have filled out. And you can listen to the phone conversations and do call recording to track everything that they're saying and where they came from when they called you. So if somebody searches for you on Google, you can actually know, and somebody searches for you on Google and then they call you, you can actually know what keyword they searched on Google to find you. And there's so many great tools that you can use as a B2B company to take the referrals that you're getting, right? Somebody refers business to you, and then convert those to customers, because most people are not going to reach out to you. And you, as a proactive, savvy B2B company, need to reach out to those companies that are already on your site. It's kind of like having people walk into your store and you not approaching them because you're like, oh, I'll wait till they come to me. No, walk over to them and say, hey, I noticed that you're clicking on the office furniture aisle. Would you like to buy some office furniture? Let me help you. What color do you want? So adding value like that is so, and some people think that's creepy. Chris, do you think it's creepy to help somebody out and to call somebody up?
Yeah.
And they didn't ask?
No, where I'm at right now, I have a short attention span. I need to know what I need to know. I don't want to have to start back in the beginning of the process of why I'm there. And I think that potential clients like that. So we say, oh, it's so big brother, but I would rather have my salesperson know who I am and what is value to me. Like, I don't find that creepy. If like you said, if I'm in a store and I go to the back where the fishing poles are and the salesperson says, wow, do you want a sofa? He's like, no, I'm looking at fishing poles. But somehow when you come to our website, you're like, oh, that's so creepy that you might know that I'm interested in fishing poles. Like, no, I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And the more that you can serve your client base, the more value you can add by the information that you have, frankly. If you have the information at your fingertips of everything they did, they don't have to go and tell you what they're looking for. You know exactly what they're looking for. So you can market to them based on information that you have, that you don't have to waste your time collecting that information. You can fill up the forms for them. You can support them and help them be able to, by adding more value. And if you think about it, you can take it to the next level. And if they forget to order something from you, you can follow them around the internet using something called retargeting. So a lot of people don't know, specifically for content marketers. And this is, if you're watching this and want to get your content promoted, if somebody comes and reads your content and they didn't take the action to download the ebook or whatever it is that the action is at the end of your content, you can then follow that user around the internet for 45 days, reminding them to finish reading the article or reminding them to actually download that ebook, which is very powerful. And specifically with people with short attention spans, less than a goldfish, the potential here is tremendous.
Yeah. And so that's some of the stuff that we do as well. Assuming, like, the cool way of saying this is that if you come and you've downloaded anything from our clients' websites, you're going to get a cookie on your computer. But what that's going to do for us is it's going to allow us to know where you're sort of going in their store, not so much their store, but at least on their website. But what we do is that we develop a couple different things. The retargeting thing, so our ads follow them around for 40 days. I know we've been on Amazon, we look at a pair of shoes, and then we go anywhere, and then all of a sudden those shoes are following us all around. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy and creepy. But it's kind of cool. That's called retargeting. That's definitely something that we do as well, and it's something we recommend for anybody who's trying to grow their business. Other things that we're still talking about here are we do these things that we call them target pages. And what happens is that we don't believe that a lot of people read very well on websites. We believe that they skim. But what we do believe is the readership on email is significantly higher. So we develop a technology when they go and they look at one of the pages of our clients' websites, assuming they have a cookie on their computer, when they leave the website, an email about the exact page that they were on gets shot right to their email address. It usually has a link that you can get to a video. And basically what we're doing is we're saying, if you read it on my website at maybe a 101 level, you're going to get an email that's going to push you down the funnel to more of like a 201 level. So that's how you promote your content, is by pushing them further down the funnel.
Yeah,
but
pushing them further down the funnel. Let me ask you
one other question, Joe, because I want to make sure that we really stay focused on promotion. So you created a really great piece of content. What do you do next?
Well, the first step is make sure that you know who you're targeting. Once you know who you're targeting, get in front of those people. So if those people are on LinkedIn, those people are on Facebook, those people are on Twitter, using social media, emailing that content out. And a lot of people don't realize when you have one form of content, you can repurpose that same form of content into other forms. So sometimes I'll take a LinkedIn article and I'll make a video out of it. And then maybe I'll do a webinar out of that article. And maybe then I'll do a podcast out of that article. And I'll really repurpose that content over and over. I'll make a few different quotes out of that article with quick tips for people to be able to, and then I reference the article back from everything that I'm doing. So using social media, using email, using search by creating Google AdWords to be able to promote that content. And really it's about the call to action. Ultimately, there has to be a great call to action. So you promote the content, the call to action, and then you give people the opportunity to share that as well. So it becomes an opportunity for you to promote the content through many different forms, social media, email, search, and then giving people the ability to share it by reminding them to do it is very, very powerful.
Yep. I really like all that stuff. I like all that stuff. I think one of the things that I noticed that is a problem that I know we as a company have, and I see other companies doing as well, is that I think sometimes we believe that we have to create so much new content that what happens here is that if you're trying to be known or you're trying to get your brand out there, but let's say I have 12 kids, and it's like on Monday I'm like, meet Marsha and meet Greg and meet Bobby and meet Steven and stuff like that. I'm like, what was the name of my second kid? And they're like, oh, I don't know. You have 12 kids. So it's like, it's crazy to me. But we do that with content as well. We're constantly serving up new ideas and blogs. We're doing all this stuff, right? But we don't have a mantra or a tagline or a brand. And like Tony Robbins says, repetition is the mother of skill. But marketers go and they try to spread so many different messages, and we're always coming up with a new idea. Every Friday there's a new idea. And basically people don't know what to hold on to because they're drowning in new ideas from other places, but even from you. And so what I really think is really interesting is when companies can get very clear about what they're saying. And if they have a new idea, don't end there. The new idea has to lead back to that core idea, that core concept, that core mantra. You know, I mean, like for us, we say don't just chase solutions, have a system. All right. So everything I say, if I say social media is great, it's only part of the system. If I say SEO is great, it's still got to be part of the system. These are one leg of the table, but we're not one silver bullet away from solving all of your marketing problems. What you need is a system that you can keep coming back to. And I read our blogs and I'm like, guys, we need to rewrite this because it's still not referring back to some of our core mantras. They will drown in new ideas if we don't keep pushing them back.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you for being on this with me. I really appreciated this. I had a really great time with you today. And if you're watching this and you enjoyed this, feel free to share this with your friends.
Cool. Joe, just one last time. I want to see if I can get this on. Okay, so you've already put your webinar on the screen. How would they get a hold of you for the Breakthrough Maze?
So if you want to get a hold of me for the Breakthrough Maze, you can go to facebook.com/groups/thebreakthroughmaze. Or you can just fill out this form and I'll be in touch with you. What I'm doing is I'm helping entrepreneurs be able to create breakthroughs so that they can have more freedom, more vitality, more self-expression, more power in every area of your life. If you want to maximize your life, go to facebook.com/groups/thebreakthroughmaze and you can get in touch with me there. You can ask to join. I'll add you there and then you can see some other breakthroughs I created for people. and hopefully I can help you be able to take your life to the next level.
Joe, this has been awesome. I really appreciate it. I'd love to do this again sometime, but
Yes,
Joe's posted some links. Check him out. He's a rock star. And thank you so much, guys. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. We will answer them even after this broadcast as well. So
and remember, stay motivated.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Joe.
Bye.